That's a good cup of joe. What's going on, beautiful people? I'm the Grandmaster, and I also go by D-Ray, bringing you guys a brand new draft league. Today is the draft analysis for the IBL. This league is owned and commissioned by Dark Devil 26, aka Brendan, who has so graciously invited us. Thank you so much, my brother. I really do appreciate it. So it's a brand new league to us. I'm very excited for a multitude of reasons. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here, you're watching my video and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you guys get notified every single time I post a new video. And if you're excited for the San Diego Snugglers to join the IBL, shadow claw that thumbs up button. Now, a couple housekeeping stuff, right? The two things that really attracted me to this league is, number one, it's full of coaches it's full of coaches not that I haven't heard of them before, but I just haven't had the opportunity to come across them, nor have I had the opportunity to play them. So it's whole new competition that excites me like crazy. So that really wanted me to join the league. Number two is that this league does allow Gigantamax, but with no restrictions, meaning that the Gigantamax Pokemon can hold any item that you want during that game, which could be great. Could also be really overpowered. My goal for this league is to have as much fun as I possibly can while playing Pokemon. So I thought this would be a good time. So here we are. Now, in regards to the draft, right? It's I believe it was a point system. We drafted in February. It's been quite some time, but we wanted to make sure everything was great for you guys. Everything was set, ready for you, so you guys are entertained to the max. So I believe that this was indeed a point draft, and the position that I was in the draft was number 7. So as the pick started to go, well, first I actually game planning at number 7 was kind of tough because this was out of 16 coaches. I'm basically right in the middle, so I knew that all the good Pokemon really weren't going to get to me unless the coaches in front of me wanted to draft a specific Mon because they wanted to use it, which luckily is exactly what happened to me, because in this draft I said, okay, I really want to get Zehra Aura, because Zehra Aura, also this is a post-home draft league, obviously. I really wanted to get Zehra Aura because I didn't get the opportunity to get in the NCP, so if it comes to me, I'm gonna get Zehra Aura. So luckily, with the very first pick, in the 7th overall spot, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Zehra Aura. Zehra Aura is gonna be pump the brakes. If you guys like these graphics, please leave a thumbs up on this video and leave a comment down below what you think. I'm getting pretty good at this Canva Photoshop thing. So anyway, Zehra Aura, phenomenal Pokemon. There's only one other Pokemon that's faster than this Mon, is Excelgor. This thing has a 143 base speed, which means it's 1 point faster than Dragapult. Gets phenomenal coverage, Play Rough, Knockoff, Plasma Fist for stab, Close Combat, gets access to Bulk Up and Calm Mind, Volt Switch for pivoting options. It gets access to Grass Knot for those pesky, bulky water types. This thing is water ground types, I should say. This thing is a phenomenal cherry on top to any team that forces prep by my opponent. It's going to hit like an absolute truck on the physical side. It can also hit like a truck on the special side. Slap a Life Orb on this thing and it's hard to handle. Very excited I finally got the opportunity to use Zehra Aura in Gen 8. I've been wanting to do this ever since the NCP, so glad that it finally fell to me. Now, as I'm at 7, moving on. Basically, when you're in the middle, the one positive thing about that, I should say, is that whenever you're in the middle, you don't have to wait too much before you get to pick again. So I was able to pair up Zehra Aura to cover its number 1 weakness, its only weakness in ground. So when I was looking at this Mon though, I was like, man, is it really worth a tier 1 spot? It does get access to its hidden ability. It's a really good grass type. You know what? Whatever. Let's swallow up the points. Let's take it. It's going to be really good for Zehra Aura. With the next pick in the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Rilla Boom. Rilla Boom gets really good coverage. It's a phenomenal wall breaker. Gets access to Wood Hammer for stab, boosted by Grassy Surge. Yes, I have the ability to run a Grassy Surge because this is run under the landline, so I'm able to bypass any release dates. So Grassy Surge is available via Wi-Fi for me. So Rilla Boom hits like an absolute truck with Wood Hammer, with Drum Beating, which is great because it reduces speed, because it has this the knockoff, U-turn, Drain Punch, Fake Out if I want to just come in, set up terrain, break a Focus Sash, get out. Rilla Boom, really good partner for Zehra Aura to cover its weakness. Really good mon to be able to punch a hole and get up out of there. Rilla Boom is going to be really fun to use. I've been watching other coaches use it and I've been interested in it, so very happy to use it. This is my favorite starter of Gen 8, so let's put in the work. Next mon that I was looking at, I was like, okay, got my Zehra Aura, covered the weakness from Zehra Aura with Rilla Boom. Now let's go after our Gmax. Because there's no restriction on Gmax, I had to pick something really good. Something that I can give any offensive item and then my opponent just has to deal with it. So I had to pick up one of the OG favorites of all time. With the next pick, with the third pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Gigantamax Gengar. So Gengar is going to be phenomenal with a Life Orb, with choice specs, although it doesn't get boosted well when you're in the Gmax form. It's really good when you're out of the form. Gets access to choice scarf, which is the same. I can put a Focus Sash on it because it's not necessarily all that bulky, but with base 130 a special attack and base 110 speed, I'm filling out those speed tiers phenomenally. I have to get something a little bit more towards the middle of Gengar and Zehra Aura a little bit later, but this mon is going to hit like an absolute truck. It's going to be able to sweep things for me at the end of the game. Gengar is going to be so good Gigantamax wise with any item. The Gmax move that Gengar gets is Gmax Terror. I'll just read it off. A ghost type attack that Gigantamax Gengar use. This Pokemon steps on the opposing Pokemon's shadow to prevent them from escaping. So essentially it's like the trapping ability that it had in Gen 7. But I have to use Gmax Terror in order for it to activate. But it's a base 130 ghost type move, which is huge because I still have access to the Gmax Poison move, Gmax Ooze, and that special effect is to raise my special attack by 1, so it can become a very threatening special sweeper by increasing its special attack every single time it hits. So that is phenomenal for Gengar. Very happy to have this on the team. So if you look at my team, I have a lot of really good hard hitters, and I have a lot of things that my opponents have to prep for. Now I have to kind of fill up some holes. How can I get a Pokemon that's going to be able to fit multiple roles every single week without having to be pinned to a specific role every single week, if that makes sense? So with the next pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Volley. Volley is going to be so good because I have access to be able to run any typing. It could be normal with no disc or whatever it's called, and I can run a choice band, choice scarf, anything like that, or I can turn it into water, fire, dragon, fairy, poison, whatever I need for that week. It's a phenomenal Pokemon in regards to being able to get pivot with parting shot and U-turn. Gets access to defog. It did get a really good buff in Gen 8. It's multi-attack, moved from I believe 90 base power to 120, which is phenomenal. Really good. So I'm very excited to have this on the team to be able to fill out any holes that I may have during that week. So now that I'm looking at the team, I'm thinking, okay, I want to be able to fill out that next part of my my speed tiers. So Gengar hits 110. We're at 143 with Zehra Aura. I have to get something in the middle because I want to control the game in regards to speed every single time. So with the next pick, I wanted to get my first part of my fantasy core. We picked up our dragon. We have in the next pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Noivern. Noivern is a phenomenal Pokemon in Draft League in my opinion because it has access to the ability Frisk. Being able to come into any time during the game and tells you what your opponent is holding is so good. I can find out if you have choice specs, a choice scarf, so good. Really good speed tier, base 123. It has a mediocre special attack, but it does get good coverage. Hurricane, the dragon moves obviously, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Boom Burst. Gets access to Tailwind if I need it for support. Gets access to U-turn, gets access to Defog. So I'm not necessarily worried about hazards on my side of the field at this point because I've already got So Volley, and I have Noivern, and I'll pick up a lot more as we move forward. But this Pokemon has a great speed tier, gives me my Dragon. It's a good support Pokemon. It can also be really good with Choice Specs or with the Life Orb. So Noivern, really good in draft. We're really happy that we're able to snag this up. Now, I had some help with this draft. I had help by, shout out to OG Albina, shout out to Silver Smasher, shout out to Silver Seraph, shout out to Blinn, shout out to GCS Milan, shout out to, who else to help me out? Rob was really good in help with this. But thank you guys so much for helping me out. We did end up picking up Crawdon with this next pick because I needed to get a dark type, a really good dark type, because they were starting to go this round. But I really wanted to pick up this Pokemon that I actually switched it for because I needed a good steel type. I did listen to the team and I said, hey, we need to get a dark type. What looks good? Hey, just grab Crawdon. So I ended up taking it, but I wasn't too comfortable with it. It was going to give us the second part of our elemental core, but at the end of the draft I thought, okay, this Pokemon is going to fit a lot better. So with the next pick of the draft, next pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Bisharp. Bisharp is going to be really good for handling that bulky psychic types, for handling the bulky fairy types. Excuse me guys, let me grab a little swig real quick. To be able to handle those bulky fairies. It's a great Pokemon in regards to its dark type coverage. Knock off, throw punch, sucker punch, throw dark glasses on this thing, hits like an absolute truck. Iron Head hits like crazy. Does get access to Stealth Rock, which may not be able to be run every single week, but it is an option. With the Swords Dance paired up with Defiant, this thing is going to be such a good wall breaker. It's bailed me out so many times in so many games. So very happy to have Bisharp on the team, so I don't have to worry about those psychics and fairies. Bisharp is going to fit really good. Now, with the next pick, we're like, okay, we're looking down the list, and we wanted to get a fairy, but then Blinn pointed out that, hey, this thing is sitting in tier 4, and it has no business whatsoever sitting in tier 4. And I've actually really wanted to use this Pokemon. And I finally get the opportunity to do so. So shout out to Blinn for spotting this out right away. I had to swoop it up for the value that it had from what it was placed for this draft. With the next pick in the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd is one of my favorite Pokemon of Generation 8, the Duck. The Duck is here. This thing hits like an absolute truck. Like, literal definition of an absolute truck. With a 135 base attack, with the ability Scrappy? Bro, are you kidding me? With the ability Scrappy, being able to use your fighting type stab on ghost type Pokemon is so good. Basically, I can come in, close combat, and dent something or just something dies. Very excited to use Sirfetch'd. Gets amazing coverage, has access to knockoff, Leaf Blade, gets access to priority and first impression. So this thing's going to be really good for the team. I'm very excited to use it. Again, shout out to Blinn for pointing out that this thing was misplaced in tier 4. Very excited to use Sirfetch'd. Now, Sirfetch'd was a value pickup, not necessarily a need pickup, but very happy to have it. So I'm looking at the team, and I have no hazards outside of Bisharp, and that's a problem. So this Pokemon got a huge buff in regards to us losing hidden power. So with the next pick in the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Rideon. Rideon is really good because there's no HP water, there's no HP grass, so this Pokemon is phenomenal now. Pair this up with Eviolite with a base 130 defense and a 105 HP. It gets so bulky on the defensive side. Even on the Spadef side, you can Eevee this thing and take some Spadef hits, or you don't even need the Eviolite. With stats like that, you can just throw a Choice Band on there and you can work with it that way. Leftovers, Reducing Berry, HP Berry, any of that. This Mon is so versatile. It's able to set rocks for you, hit like an absolute truck, get out. Rideon. Phenomenal value. So, had to pick it up. I don't necessarily even consider this thing like an Eviolite Pokemon. It just has the option to use Eviolite if you really want to. So, that's really good. Alright, looking at the team, I don't have a fairy. I need a fairy. How can I take advantage of Bisharp's Defiant ability and being able to use my slower Pokemon to be able to hit like an absolute truck? AKA, how can I get Sirfetch'd in the position to just destroy teams? So to get a fairy like this was so good for this team. With the next pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Slurpuff. Slurpuff is so good. Slurpuff gets great utility, gets access to Unburden, which is phenomenal for the team because I have grassy terrain. Throw a grassy seed on this, I get a boost in my defense, I double my speed, invest all in special attack or in attack, and play rough everything, and just sweep. So that's an option for me. Gets access to Sticky Web, so I can basically support Sirfetch'd, I can support Bisharp, I can support Gengar. So really good for this team. Very excited to have Slurpuff. Awesome addition. Now, looking at the mons that I have left, I have 2 more spots to pick, right? So I was looking at the team and I'm like, okay, I don't have a bulky water. It's really helpful whenever you have to deal with Dracovish or a really hard hitting fire type Pokemon like Cinderace is the first one that comes to mind, like Darmanitan, which I unfortunately didn't get access to this draft. But looking at things, I wanted to be able to get something that doesn't necessarily have to come every single week, but is able to bail me out depending on the matchup. It can be kind of passive, but at the same time, I'm able to use this Pokemon to perfection in some cases, in my opinion. So with the next pick of the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Pyukumuku. Pyukumuku, shout out to It's Gator, is a really good water type in my opinion. Gets access to Unaware, so no matter how many times you boost up your stats, Pyukumuku does not give 2 rats buns. So with the base 130 defense and a 130 speed def, really bad HP, but once you invest in that, you can handle it. This thing takes hits for days. Gets access to Innards Out, so I can get that extra chip damage in case it does get knocked out whenever the switch in happens. Gets access to Toxic, gets access to Recover. Really good Pokemon to just soak up hits and be able to handle whatever is in front of me and to not sweep the rest of the team. That's what Pyukumuku's job is going to be in this draft. So really happy to have such a good water type. We may make a transaction moving forward, but as of right now, I'm really liking the way that this water type is going to fit on this team. So we'll see. So with the very last pick, I wanted to be able to take off the burden from Rideon and take off the burden from Bisharp to be able to set hazards, because right now I only have Stealth Rock. It's always good to have at least 3 Stealth Rockers, and it's good to have multiple hazards. So we have 2 Stealth Rockers and we have 1 Sticky Web setter. So I wanted to get Spikes. So with the last pick, with the very last tier, which is garbage, I thought that this was the best value. So with the next pick, the last pick in the IBL draft, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Corkle. So Corkle is really good with an Eviolite. Yeah, sure, it's weak to rocks. I'll take 25% every single time I come in. At the end of the day, it's really bulky on the defensive side with the base 90 boosted with the Eviolite. Gets access to Flash Fire, so it's a fire immunity, which is really good for the team, really good for Bisharp. It's really good for Rilla Boom, etc. So Corkle could be pretty good to just come in, set Stealth Rock, set Spikes, and it also has access to Rapid Spin, so that way I can keep my hazards on the field and not have to defog them away, which can be pretty good. And depending on the matchup, it can be pretty good. So I'm very happy to have Corkle on the team. So this is the team that we're going to be working with. Very excited for this this upcoming IBL season. If you guys are too, again, do me a massive favor and hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below what you guys think. And the first game should be, I believe, next Sunday. And the way that we're structuring this league is pretty cool. From what I understand, we're going to vote on a game of the week. Whatever that game of the week is, it's going to be like Monday Night Football, and that game will be played on Monday. You'll see it on Monday. The rest of the games will be on Sunday. So you'll be able to see the APA Academy on Friday, the NCP on Saturday, the IBL on Sunday. So fits the schedule like a glove. Very excited for this league. Shout out to all the coaches that are participating. Shout out to you for watching this team builder. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night. And above all else, be nice. Peace.